Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Morning Dingus Hammer, trying to fit another battle report before work. So this time we have ogres against beast hares. Like I'm playing against Sean. He's playing very similar list, but instead of one big herd of mongrels, he has now two ambushing herds with I don't remember their name actually, but they have banner of discipline and discipline 7, and he's gonna choose to ambush one of them and deploy normally the second one. And I'm playing ogres, the shooting ogres with basically two cannons, two catapults, two tigers, two units of bombardiers, wizard with firebrand and all that you can't hit him with strength higher than 5. Basically, they have MR3 the unit. The BSB has a troll eater, so he has a 5-up region. He does multiple wounds too. I have a can of multiple wounds D3. Um, and I have big unit of bruisers with great weapons. And for him, he has the same wizard on the chariot that you have to reroll successful to wound, and 5-up ward save on him. 3 raiding chariots, 2 characters, Minotaur characters, 1 general, 1 BSB. One has the region, one has the blessed inscription, and I believe 5-up. The big unit of Minotaurs with hand weapon shield, and 2 darts of Minotaurs with great weapons, and 2 Cyclops. So basically I deployed the deployment is the one that big middle, small middle, I don't remember, and circle with Spoils of War. I decided to deploy, well, he chose the sides, he chose top with big middle. I decided to deploy all out, and the plan was it's open terrain over here, there are ruins, so I can have a nice shooting field. I can have him charge through the ruins, which will be great. And what I deployed like that also because I didn't want his ambusher unit to come behind me and just cause all kinds of trouble. Even though they're discipline 7 with reroll, they should fail the discipline pretty easily, but what if they don't? And I have all kinds of trouble behind me. So I decided to deploy like that just to zone that and wait until he ambushes, and after his ambushing I can begin to play. He deployed like that. He hit his wizard from my cannon. He put the other cyclop too far. He put the second cyclop behind the house and deployed chariots sideways, which gave me a pretty nice flank shot, which didn't come to play because this is after my shooting. I was able to basically move up my bombardiers, pivot some stuff around, move one of the cannons forward, and I was able to put a catapult and some magic into his head. I was able to put some attributes, Viper Scares and a crossbow into the chariots, cannons missed, so that was my turn 1. Basically, he didn't, I mean, I can say I didn't do as much as I thought I could have done, but actually there wasn't that bad of damage. It was alright. So in his turn, he decides to push out. One of the Cyclops is marching, the other one moved out. He's putting the Minotaurs on the objective over here and over here, just pushing forward. He was like, I can just take a secondary and run for it, or I can make it a fun game, right? And I think he made a better decision pushing, because if he picks a secondary and starts backing off, I just start pushing after his ambushing and just start pyro shooting off his stuff. I pick one secondary, and if I'm able to blow up one of the Minotaur block, which doesn't have MR, he loses the secondary, and I tie it. And if I'm a little bit lucky, I can even win it. So in his turn, he's able to put a Cyclops shot into the tribesman, kill a guy over there, put another wound through. He's trying to put a chilling hull on the big chilling hull on the catapult. I stop that, and he gets a totem on himself, which gives him, I believe, MR and hard target. So I'm not gonna be able to shoot at him. Okay, something was missing. Okay, this is the turn that I kind of miss, I guess, because it's already my turn. So what I'm able to do is I stay here, I blow up his heart. He passes another leadership check. I am able to cannon off the wizard, so I put 3 wounds from the cannon, and then I have a flaming sword, I believe, on me, and I'm able to put the last wound between the crossbow and the viper's curse on his wizard. So he has no more shamanism magic. I'm still staying over here. The catapult broke, so the catapult is still facing with the tiger, a place where he can ambush over here, and the bruisers are again zoning off the other flank for his ambushing unit. So I was pretty happy with blowing the wizard. I thought it opens up the game for me now, and I'm able to have some fun with the game. So in his turn, he ambushes out the horde, traps me in the ruin, and pushes out the Minotaur brick. And this is the turn. He has he gets the totem off. On the chariots, he's able to throw another rock on the bombardiers. Kills one with one, and puts some wounds with the second one. So I'm able to pass my 9 rollable discipline, and this is the moment where I realized that I scrub because I thought that when I was deploying that my general and all those guys were in the bruisers, and that the tribesmen were on the flank. And this is the moment where I realized, oh crap, I don't have my characters in the one brick that has a movement 6 swift strike that's able to charge stuff, and I cannot charge my bruisers alone into the Minotaurs, they would get eaten. So my plan is chaff the herd over here, chaff the chariots with my bombardiers. I mean, they have musicians, so they can come around and chaff pyro and as much as I can of the Minotaurs, and trying to maybe shoot off the character or things like that, or just put some hair basically on those Minotaurs, maybe cast some defensive magic that can help me win the combat with them, especially big hereditary spell. So my turn. This is what happens. I move my characters into block. I chaff, prepare charges for the herd. I mean, they're leadership 7, so maybe they would panic from the shooting also, which they don't. And I am unable to finish those guys in their ruins. Even though I'm shooting from the ruins into the ruins, I just do 1 wound, which sucks a lot because now he has another turn of chaffing me, basically, that he can get. And I'm able to only kill 2 Minotaurs. The cannons don't do anything, so that's the end of my turn. And here was another thing that happened. I got some of my wonderful laurels. I was unable to get hereditary spell. I rolled 4 dice for large hereditary spell. I got 3 ones and a 3. And so I got 3 dice back, and with those 3 dice, he was able to dispel whatever I wanted to cast. So I was able to only do some wounds from the pyro. I got the 36 hits, killed between the pyro and the bombardiers, killed 2 minotaurs. Was not very successful. At this point, he already has 2 secondaries. Unless I win this combat over here, if he charges, I cannot contest secondary objective anymore. That has gone by. All right, why is not moving? So for some reason they want to move. So he charges. He charges the giant Cyclop and the chariots into bombardiers. Chaffs me over here. Attacks the little chaff, and we get to magic phase where he has 2 totems that I need to dispel. Well, it's the one that gives him distracting and the one that gives him extra attack, right? And the phase, I have 3 dice to try to dispel each, and the first one that he gets, I am unable to dispel. I roll 1 to 3, I believe. No, there it is, 1 to 3. Yep, I failed to dispel the +1 attack. And that's big difference. That's big difference. I'm able to put 2 wounds from Sinner, so that's where those 2 wounds came from. And the combat happens. In the combat, I have basically my wizard fighting his region Minotaur warlord. He has the other warlord fighting my general and BSB. He doesn't challenge because if he challenges, basically I can accept with the character that need less. If he challenges with the bigger the warlord that had real to wounds, the blessed inscriptions, I can accept with my BSB. If challenges with the region one, I accept with my wizard, and I think he can win this combat. The wizard can. Because he wounds me on 4+, and I have 5+ ward save against him. So there are some ways I can deal with it. So he doesn't challenge. I don't challenge neither because I could have challenged, I guess, with the wizard and get off his general. But I decided not to challenge. That was probably a mistake in the retrospect because he is able to put all his attacks into my general, and he does 7 wounds through that are divine, and they kill my general. Then between his impact hits and his attacks, he kills 4 bruisers, so that's a lot of wounds on me. Put some wounds on my BSB, and I struck him back. It wasn't very. I didn't do much. Basically, I hit him. He has shields, so I hit him on the force. I used my breath weapon. Got a couple wounds over here. Got 3 wounds. No, sorry, those 3 wounds are on his BSB from my wizard and breath weapon, and he's able to win the combat by 5. I fail my 2 of my disciplines. I flee. He restrains, and I flee off the board. So after this turn, this is where we are, and I'm looking over here. I'm like, well, it's time to spin like a shit in the toilet, pretty much. Let's see if I can get some wounds of him, some points. There's still a chance, right? That we both won't have magic. And he has his character inside the unit that I can shoot at. So my plan is chuff him with the kitty and use my 2 catapults to charge off his ambushing unit. The way that he chuffed me, I am still able to wheel to the giant, the cyclop, and he has to close the doors to me, so I can charge the flank of the unit that's chuffing me and overrun into the flank of the cyclop, and then overrun into the chariots. But he's able to see that, so he flees from the first charge. I fail to redirect. I'm able to complete the charge against the giant, put a wound on myself while doing so. I think on the ruin. Or did I have it? No, I had it already, so I didn't put the wound on. I'm chuffing his warlord over here. Got both of my catapults inside the combat. And I failed to hit when both my cannons roll 2 to hit. So I whiffed the combat also against the Cyclop. I won it, or we tie, I don't remember. I think I won it, but he passed his leadership. I reform and I get both my catapults inside the combat. I failed to restrain with one of them, so they both end up pursuing. They both end up pursuing the same distance, which is terrible for me because they're discipline 6 now, and they're in line of sight of this big guy with a terror. So things are not going very well for ogres. And I'm like, well, I'm still gonna have one more turn at trying to shoot off this guy. Maybe I can kill him, and then I can get some points, on the board. And here's what happens: he kills the chaff. He charges the catapult. It flees off the board. The other one miraculously passes the leadership. He redirects into bombardiers. Bombardiers, I think they fail the terror check also. They flee. He catches them, destroys them. He rallies the chaff, I am able to kill his Cyclops to the wound. Over here is what I rolled. Uh, Rolls weren't amazing, but I was able to get the 4 wounds that I needed to. So he makes a mistake because he fights the chaff first, and after fighting the chaff, he's pivoting like that, and then he decides to fight the Cyclop. That was a mistake. I think he should have done it other way around. Fight the Cyclop, and then see what happens over here, and then finish the combat over here, and then he can position himself wherever he needs to. But because of he did it this way, I am able to pivot after the combat my big brick, and this is my last chance. So I'm like, okay, well, let's try to do it. Let's try to come back, flank charge, and I align myself in a way so that I would be able to basically, if I win the combat, pursue, because I doubt that I killed the Lord, I pursue this direction, hit the flank of these guys, and then maybe I can challenge the dart over here. But this is not what happens. This is what happens. I charge, I kill with between the impact hits and everything. I kill the unit of Minotaurs. I put 1 wound on the Warlord, and he puts 9 wounds on my Tribesman. And at this point, I decided that that's game. There is absolutely nothing else that I could do, especially since we rolled it farther. He was able to charge my cannon and successfully do so. So after this turn, I was left with just catapult. There was no reason to continue the game anymore. So Sean scored a big victory. I believe it was 20-0 because I killed only 1 unit of Minotaurs, and these guys are rallied. So 1 unit of Minotaurs and a Cyclops. That was not enough to put me on the board with any points, and he wiped the board with me pretty much. So that was awesome game as always with Sean. There were some mistakes that I did. There were a couple of mistakes that he did, but I think mine bit me in the butt way harder than his did. And overall, good game. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like it. Like it if you like it, and see you on the next episode.